evening, everyone. My name is Cynthia Loesch-Johnson, and I'm president of the Codman Square Neighborhood Council. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. As you all know, the Codman Square Neighborhood Council meets the first Wednesday of the month from 7 to 8:30. Usually we meet in person at the Great Hall, but because of the pandemic, we're still meeting via Zoom. I can't wait till we can be in person again and kind of return to normal. But in the meantime, we just keep assessing the situation and figure it out as we go. So we appreciate your patience and working with us. As a reminder, these meetings are recorded and then posted on YouTube. So we encourage you to share all of the important information that you hear tonight with your friends, your family members, and your neighbors. And if they weren't able to make the meeting, they can watch the meeting on YouTube at their convenience after the fact. I just want to remind you that these are your meetings, so feel free to use the chat feature, raise your hand, use that feature, whatever you're most comfortable with, to make sure that your questions are getting answered and your comments are being heard. And I'm going to rely on our board to make sure I don't miss anything, whether it's in the chat or a raised hand feature. So let's take a look at our agenda for this evening. We have a lot to cover. This is just a reminder, this is what we're going to be discussing tonight. And here, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, we encourage you to do so that you can see all of the meetings that you've missed since 2020. So feel free to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. The closed caption feature is available, so make sure you turn that on your computer if you need to use that resource, and we will jump right in. Before I check if B3 is on, I just wanted to acknowledge our 2022 board members. We have 11 resident board members and 11 stakeholder members, and they make sure that we have our monthly community meetings and all of our events that we hold throughout the year. I just want to give them a quick round of applause because they are phenomenal, and they've been just tremendous as we've navigated using this new technology, being on Zoom, and kind of getting through everything together. So I'm so grateful for all of you. Yes, I see claps and cheers and celebrations. Okay, we usually start off with our police presentations. Officer Keeney from C11 is on vacation, so we know we will not be hearing from him. I just want to do a quick check. Is Officer Harris on from B3? If not, I'll jump around in the agenda. Nope.
Nadia's on. Nadia's on.
Hi.
Yeah, Nadia's here.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. I wish I was at that beach that's in your background.
I wish I was there too right now, actually.
I'll hand it off to you.
You want me to start?
Yes, please.
All right. So not too many calls that came in for you guys in the last 30 days, which is good. I have 10 calls in total. We had a shot spotter activation go off in the area of Torrey Street and Withington Street. And as a result of that, 5 shell casings were recovered in front of 35 Torrey Street. We had 1 domestic. We had 3 motor vehicle accidents. We had 2 death investigations. I can't really get into detail about those. We had a missing person that was reported and then located. And then we had 1 towed motor vehicle and 1 warrant arrest. And that is it. Not too bad.
Not too bad. Are there questions or comments for B3? No? Oh, that's pretty good. I know that you guys will be connecting with the Bold Teens this summer on some of their activities. So we look forward to seeing you in the community for those events.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay.
Back on, but yes, we look forward.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you for being on with us.
Thanks for having me.
We'll now move on to hear an update regarding the Codman Square Park. For those of you that are not familiar, the Codman Square Park is located at the corner of Washington Street and Talbot Ave. Show of hands, who's visited the park, who walks by the park, who's familiar with the park? Excellent. We have been working really, really hard to secure capital dollars to renovate this space. It's our most centrally located space in Codman Square. I'm going to just provide you some background on how we got to where we are today. But before I do, mark your calendars, August 20th, 2022 from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. at the Codman Square Park. As part of the Codman Square Farmers Market, we will be having a community meeting to finalize the design for the park. Once we finalize this community process, we can initiate construction for our new design as soon as next year. So, I'm hearing an echo. Thank you, Judith, for muting. So this is super exciting, especially for all of the friends of Codman Square Park that have been putting time and energy over the years to transform this space. The Friends of the Codman Square Park will be meeting with the Boston Parks and Recreation team, Destiny Palmer, our artist, and Kyle Zick, the landscape architect, along with all of the community to finalize the design plan. So let's talk about how we got here. We, in 2018, knew that we wanted the Codman Square Park to be activated, to be utilized more. There were a couple of community events taking place in the space, but really just the farmers market. So we knew we needed to do something to transform this space. So we really just started with newsprint and stickers and dotting. It was that simple. And so to know that that's where we started and where we are now is pretty phenomenal. We had a really extensive community process. You can see here some of the community partners that were a part of the Codman Square Friends group from the beginning. People of all ages, stakeholders, C11, our police department was involved, the health center, different civic groups, our elected officials. You'll see Rep. Holmes is on here, Andrea Campbell as well. Second Church is a huge partner in this. And we were just meeting frequently to figure out the future of this park. And we prioritized what we wanted to see in the space. So you can read some of the goals here. We wanted the new design to be attractive and inclusive. We wanted to celebrate the local neighborhood, create a really vibrant place for us to socialize and gather, but then celebrating the culture of the neighborhood as well. So you can see all of the things that were really important to the Friends group as we were going through this process. And what was really exciting was we started off by applying for some design dollars from the Brown Fund. And that process really legitimized everything for us because we were able to hire a landscape architect. That's exciting. Hire an artist to bring some of our ideas to life. And we did like calls, not just statewide, but all of New England to identify the best landscape architect to work with us, the best artist to work with us. We identified Kyle as the landscape architect because he understood that we had very strong personalities and he'd have to work with the community and making sure our vision was brought to life. He was also very familiar with designing for a unique space like the Codman Square Park. And we identified Destiny Palmer here as the artist. She's actually a local artist. That's an additional benefit. She was doing a lot of work with Codman Academy. Because she had this brilliant idea to capture the different cultures and ethnicity in the Codman Square community. And of course, we have Kathy Baker Eclipse here. We actually requested that she work on this park design with us because she's very familiar with Codman Square, has worked on a number of our parks, but she just does a really good job working with the community. So we had a strong team from the beginning, and the initial design dollars from the Brown Fund legitimized the entire process. So it was really cool to see, meeting after meeting, our ideas brought to life. And so here you have a rendering of where we are now for the plan for the park. There's still room to add ideas and make modifications. So that's why it's important to participate in that August meeting. Here you'll see that we are removing the fence that divides the two parcels. Here's the park parcel. This is the Second Church parcel, creating a large open space right here in the center of Codman Square. We have a performance stage, sculpture seating, lots of green space, an area for the farmers market. Church parking is here, rain garden, all different things that the community really wanted to see. This is the art feature that's really exciting that Destiny Palmer came up with. She found a way to incorporate incorporate all the different ethnicities from the Native Americans to the Puritans, to all of the cultures that we have in our community presently, from Caribbean, African-American, Vietnamese, and weave that into patterns that are captured in the actual design of the park and in this sculpture. So just so like you see that love sign in Philly where everyone has to go take a picture of it, people will be doing that same thing here in Codman Square, coming from downtown to Codman Square to take a picture with this sign. At least that's what we think will happen. So with that, I'll give you a funding update. In 2018, we submitted an application for the design funds from the Brown Fund, and that legitimized our process, and kind of I summarized what's happened since. In 2020, we learned that we secured $640,000 in the capital plan. So that's huge. Big thank you to all of our elected officials and city officials that helped us secure those dollars, because now this is definitely going to happen. In 2020, we also submitted an application to the Community Preservation Act funds and was awarded $150,000 for this project. And in 2021, we submitted an application again to the Brown Fund, but not for implementation dollars. Not for design dollars, but for implementation dollars. And we're waiting for that response. But we think it's pretty promising because we've been able to secure majority of the funds. So I know I went through that quickly, but I just wanted you guys to be reminded of everything we've done since 2018 to get to where we are today. And before I move on, I want to know if anyone has any questions about that process and this upcoming meeting. I see some clapping, some cheers. That's great. That's great. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions?
I wouldn't have a question, but I wanted to just add something. The other thing is just the collaboration with the church, the fact that we got the money for the steeple, the fact that we were able to get the money for them to do the cemetery. It all comes together because the church has been so good about it. So having Pastor Price and the whole team on board with all the maneuvering that we have to do on a site that's so close to them also has been very good as well.
Yes, I appreciate you mentioning that, Rep. Holmes, because we could not bring this design to life without Second Church's involvement and Pastor Price and his entire team being so supportive and really helping to lead the way. So thanks for mentioning that. Any other comments, questions, thoughts? Nope. Okay, August 20th, 12 to 2. Come visit the Codman Square Farmers Market and also take part in the upcoming community meeting for the Codman Square Park. Okay, on that note, we are going to hear more about the Codman Square Farmers Market. We have Catherine Charles, our Codman Square Farmers Market manager, on to tell us what to expect for 2022.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I am Catherine Charles, the market manager. Bear with me while I try and pull up just the little slideshow we have. Give me a second. And then Cynthia, you'll let me know.
We can see your screen. Oh, now it's gone. Oh, it's loading.
Gone?
It's loading, it's loading.
Okay.
There we go, perfect.
All right, so the farmers market is back again. Our first market is going to be July 16, and we're running all the way up until October 8th. Our markets are going to be on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it'll be all the fun that it was last year, just more this year. So this year we also have the bull teens just leading the way. Our staff this year, Cynthia Loesch-Johnson, myself, Richard Scott is the bull teens supervisor, and a few bull teens that we have right now are Christina Pruitt, Serafina Jean, Jabari, Devin, and Zakara. And those are our new teams this year that are going to be leading the way. Some of our staple farmers and vendors this year are going to be Her Farms, Iggy's Bread, Oasis on Baloo, and Riverdale Farms, and they'll be there every Saturday. But we'll have more vendors, more local small business owners coming during our social Saturdays. So we have lots to offer, but these will be our main vendors and farmers. Here is just our team from last year and just some of the fun. This is the local chef, Chef Eric Brown, and some of our other vendors from last year. And these are our social Saturdays last year. We have a lot of social Saturdays that we have planned. These are just a few that we're gonna do. This is for July. We're thinking of playtime in the park, having big play materials like Jenga, checkers, Foursquare for kids to play. Codman Eats, we're thinking of giving out recipes for people to try in the community. In August, we're celebrating National Farmers Market Week and National Health Center Week. In September, we're doing Culture Market, and that was really fun, and Black-owned market. So we're celebrating Black vendors, different cultures that we find in Cardinal Square. In October, we're doing our local art market. And these are just ideas that we're having, but we're also gonna give our bold teams lead to add some of their ideas as well. So you might see some more during this season, this farmers market season. We're also doing Summer Eats again. We're also having involvement with Summer Eats so that kids who are around Codman Square area are able to get access to food during the summer months. We're partnering with them again, and we're also partnering with Food Access again to bring coupons to some of our community members. Last year, we were able to give out about $100,000 worth of fresh foods and vegetables to our community because of this program. So we're able to do it again this year, and that's going to be exciting as well. And we're still looking for more vendors. So if anybody knows, or if anybody's looking to be a part of our team, we're calling everybody to come this year. That's it from our end.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Any questions or comments for Catherine, or questions about the Codman Square Farmers Market?
This is Antoine. If you guys need sound or a DJ, I can volunteer, no problem.
Yes, woo, would love to have you, Anton. Thank you.
Perfect. I'll just text you later.
Yes, please.
All right.
Catherine, can you put your information in the chat so that people can reach you if they have questions about the vendors or the themes or the social Saturdays?
Yes, I'll do that now.
Any other questions or comments for Catherine? Catherine, you did a phenomenal job last year. We had such a great season last year. So we're so excited that you're back this year. Lead the way.
Question.
Oh, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Hannah.
Hi, Hannah.
Nice to meet you. Catherine, if we wanted, I'm part of a ukulele ensemble. If we wanted to be an entertainment one time on the farmer's market, how would we go about that? Should I contact you?
Yes, we'd love to have you. We're always looking for music, so please come. Contact me. I'll put the email in the chat right now, and just let us know when you'd like to come.
Okay, great.
All right.
This is wonderful, Catherine. We're going to have lots of great local entertainment. Any other questions or comments? Well, I was just singing Catherine's praises. She did such a phenomenal job last year. As she mentioned, we were able to bring in more than $100,000 worth of farm fresh food into our community, and that's amazing. This market is so important because it's how we address the major health inequities in our community. Obesity and diabetes type 2 are the major health concerns that we have in our neighborhood, and this is how we are doing our part. We're going into our 15th season, so 15 years of this farmers market. And so we really appreciate the market manager and the bold teams for, taking the lead and continuing to keep us strong. I see that Marilyn has her hands up. Marilyn?
Yes, I was wondering if Catherine knows whether they have blueberries or not.
I'm sure Riverdale will. I don't know if it's the season yet. Usually, is it August?
July
is right now. Okay, yeah. So Riverdale might.
Yes, we all want blueberries. Any other questions or comments for Catherine? Well, we hope to see you all at the Codman Square Farmers Market. Oh, Harris.
So hi, Haris Hardaway here. I just wanted to say I love that market because it's a block away from my house on Talbot, and I'm glad to see everything's still going and look forward to shopping there like I always do. So I've not met the organizer before, so it's nice to be here with you all and get a chance to see how it happens. So yeah, that's all I want to say. Just kudos. I love it.
Thanks, Harris. We appreciate it. Okay, excellent. Catherine's put her contact information in the chat. I'm hearing feedback. Make sure you're muted. And we look forward to seeing you all for Saturdays at the Codman Square Farmers Market, Social Saturdays. Moving along in the agenda, Catherine mentioned the Bold Teens. So I'd now like to hand it off to Richard Scott, the Bold Teens coordinator, to tell us what the Bold Teens are up to this summer.
Thank you, Cynthia. How's everybody doing today? So again, my name is Richard Scott. I'll be the Bold Teens coordinator for this summer. So just to give you a little background what Bold Teens are. So Bold, which is formerly known as the Breath of Life Dorchester, started off as an initiative that wanted to really get the message out about tobacco and teens against tobacco, to prevent others in our communities about the tobacco use and exposure, and really fight about those combats. So it started off like that in 1994, but however, it shifted to be more of a youth-led, it's still a youth-led organization, but it focused more on health, social, and environmental justice. I'm the coordinator, but of course we have the Bold Teens that really hold down the fort. So I'll give it a chance to really introduce the new Bold Teens for the summer, and just to hear about what a couple of the things that we have going on for this summer. So hand it off to them.
Hi, my name is Jabari Gichuru. I'm one of the Bold Teens this summer.
Hi, my name is Devin Johnson. I am also one of the Bold Teens this summer.
Hi, my name is Zakara, and I'm also part of the Bold Teens for this summer.
Hello, my name is Christina. I'm also a Bold Teen, and I've done this last year.
That's Christina right there.
Hi, my name is Serafina. I am a Bold Teen for the summer. Also, I did it during the winter.
Nice. So I hope everybody, welcomes them in as you may see them around for the rest of the summer. So we're gonna get into a couple of the activities. I'm gonna have actually Jabari talk about some of the upcoming events that we have going on for the summer.
So one of the things we'll be doing for July and August, we'll be hosting Friday night movie nights at the Dr. Loesch Finley Park at 8 p.m. Every Friday between now and I believe the Friday before Labor Day. Each movie will be around 2 hours long, and our first movie this Friday will be Encanto. We definitely recommend everyone to come around and watch the movie with us and have a good time. There will be snacks, drinks, and there'll be music too. Before the movie starts. Feel free to bring chairs, blankets, and probably bug spray too. I definitely recommend bringing bug spray. We do have a flyer. I don't have it on me right now, but we will definitely send out an email with the flyers. We're also going to be advertising around the Codman Square Library as well as the Family Park. And we're going to be putting up a whole bunch of flyers too. But yeah, we're definitely looking forward to each movie night, and really just looking to have a good time as a community. So in addition to please for years, yes, we'll definitely make sure to forward all of our summer events to Counselor Murphy. And yeah, we'll make sure to do that shortly. Another thing that we'll be hosting this summer is the Summer Eats program outside of the Codman Square Library on Washington Street. It's going to be from Tuesday to Thursday between noon and 2:30 p.m. We actually started today. We had our first day today. It was really exciting. We have lunches and snacks for kids. Anyone under 18 is welcome to swing by and enjoy a free meal from us. Yeah. And finally, one of the most important things that we have is we have a survey about what people in the community want to see for the Codman Square Merchants District. And we really want it to be community focused. It's a really quick survey, and asking about right in Codman Square. What the community as a whole wants to see be done from a commercial standpoint in Common Square. We definitely feel it's very important that community voices get heard, and to really hear the thoughts of the people who live there, and for us to really kind of have autonomy over what goes on in our neighborhood, in our community. So whether it's
Jabari,
whether it's store or pet.
Jabari, you're going in and out.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can now.
Okay, yeah. So I was just saying, whether it's new restaurant, a bookstore, a pet store, or even a 5-star hotel, we're definitely looking forward to hearing input from people in the community about about what you guys want to see in the Common Square Merchants District. So feel free to scan the URL code. If you use your phones, you can use the camera. Pretty sure most phones have the feature where it'll give you the URL and the link to the Google Form survey.
Excellent. Wow, you all will be busy all summer. Are there questions or comments for the Bold Teens? Jabari did a good job answering things that came in the chat real time, but are there any other questions or comments?
I just also wanted to add, I seen everybody asking for the flyer. We will have flyers out tomorrow, so I will drop the Instagram for the Bold Teens into the chat as well, so you guys can be on the lookout for that. Just as Jabari said, we'll also have flyers out about the movie nights, just going door to door, letting the community know. And as you guys are in the meeting, make sure to spread the word. We want this to be an event where everybody can enjoy and come out. So feel free to spread the word, and we'll also let you guys know about the Summer Eats program at the Common Square Library. So hope to see you guys there on Friday, and we'll be at the library from Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 12 to 2:30. So just wanted to add that.
It is so beautiful to see our young people doing such positive things in the community. I really appreciate your presentation, and I encourage you all to take the survey that the teens are working on. This initiative began when the young people started seeing that there's just a lot of the same in our Merchants District on Washington Street, Norfolk, and Talbot. A lot of fast food options, a lot of junk food options, a lot of unhealthy options, and wanting to see something different and figure out why we continue to see more of the same in our neighborhood, especially since 2 cannabis dispensaries were just approved on Washington Street recently as well. And as you all know, the teens are very concerned about the number of liquor licenses and tobacco permits that are issued in the community. So they really do need your help to figure out what residents really want to see, because what they're finding, as Jabari says, we don't want a lot of the same. We want more variety. We want a vibrant merchants district. We want to not have to leave Codman Square to enjoy a meal, to enjoy a cup of coffee, to enjoy some of the things that you see in other communities and in other neighborhoods that are really close by. So please assist them in this process, assist them in their assessments and in their surveying so that they can continue their campaign of changing what's available to us in our neighborhood and to limit some of the leakage that exists with us having to spend money outside of our community. So thank you so much to the Bold Teens. Can I also ask that you guys put the link to the survey in the chat as well for those that are not comfortable using the QR code technology? And Judith is here saying, can we have a place for young kids to get dance, art, music lessons, other such things? Yes, Miss Judith, fill out the survey and make note of that, because I think a lot of people feel that way and a lot of people want to see things like that in the neighborhood.
Yes, I would love to see that and right in Codman Square.
Excellent. Before I move on, I just want to quickly highlight that the Bold Teens were acknowledged on Boston 25 News last week. They received the DCU Hometown Hero Award. We'll put a link in the chat so that you guys can watch them on the news, being recognized for all of the great work that they do in the community year after year after year. We really appreciate your leadership. It's phenomenal to see young people doing such great things. So thank you all. Yes, big round of applause for them. Big round of applause. Okay, any other questions, comments, thoughts about movie night, farmers market, summer eats, or the merchant survey? If not, we'll move on in the agenda. Is Teresa on? Teresa Maynard? I don't see her.
I'm here.
Oh, you are? Excellent. There you are. Okay, great. I'm going to make you a co-host. Okay, we will now hear from Sweet Teez Bakery. Teresa's here to tell us about her business. She's a local resident and has some exciting things going on. Take it away.
Yes, hold on one moment. Let me share my screen. Hi, everybody. I'm Teresa Maynard, owner of Sweet Teez Bakery. So we're currently located on Quincy Street. We work out of Commonwealth Kitchen. There on Quincy Street. I jumped out of corporate like a crazy person in 2016, started a bakery. We've been running out of Commonwealth Kitchen for almost 6 years. We're at a place now where we're hoping to get into a brick and mortar location. And although people try to get me to go downtown or to Newbury Street, I would like to be right here in Dorchester, where I was born and raised. Codman Square, ideally, because I live down the street and this is my neighborhood. Very, very important to me. So just a little bit about our bakery. So we are a nut-free bakery. We use all nut-free ingredients. We're currently not able to really wag the nut-free flag because we are based out of a shared kitchen space. A part of the reason why we're looking for our own brick and mortar space is so we can be 100% nut-free. Our mission is to really bring delicious baked goods to the neighborhoods, as well as being able to employ people in my neighborhood. So we make mini pies, brownies, cookies, quiches, rum cake. Basically, if you can bake it, we make it. So, and we're really focused on like not only making sure something's nut free, but making sure that it actually tastes good, because who wants a brownie that doesn't taste good? Nobody. So we've been working for 6 years. We have some wholesale clients that we work with, corporate catering. We do direct to consumer. We have some big clients that we've worked with, but one of the big things that we're not able to do is people call me every day wanting to pick up a birthday cake, and they can't because we don't have a brick and mortar location. I feel like it's something that's just really important for our neighborhood to have. So why Dorchester or why Codman Square? Like I said before, I grew up right here on Washington Street, down the street from Codman Square. This is my neighborhood. This is where I'm raising my three kids currently. And I don't care what people say about Dorchester. It's not true. So one of the things that I really, and one of the reasons why I'm really interested in opening up a place here in Dorchester, especially Codman Square, is I feel like there's no community meeting place to go and have a cup of coffee or, you know, a baked good or something with a friend. Like there's no place, and McDonald's is just not going to cut it. So we really would like to be able to create a space where you could have a good cup of tea or a decent cup of coffee that's not from Dunkin', nothing against them, but let's be honest. One of the things that we're really focused on is being able to hire locally and to be able to give people in our neighborhood a second chance and an opportunity to gain some skills that they can then use after even working with us. Because I just think it's important to be able to help people who have been here, who are trying to, you know, make a difference or change their lives, to be able to give them that opportunity to, you know, work and make a decent and honest living. And I just feel like, you know, the thing with Codman Square and Dorchester is representation, I think, is really important. Local business, for me as a small business owner, it's just super important to me. Not that it's bad to have franchises, but I just feel like we are a community. We interact with each other. We all live here together, and we want to see local businesses. You want to know the person at the bakery down the street or the store down the street. You don't really just want a big box store, or maybe it's just me. But some of the things that we've been doing, one of the things that's just really near and dear to me is to make sure that I don't only make money here in Dorchester, but that I'm giving back. So we started in 2021, we gave away 150 grocery boxes to the Boys and Girls Club of Dorchester. That went really well. We were able to secure some funding from Liberty Mutual. And then for February vacation, we were able to do 500 grocery boxes that went to kids at 6 different Boys and Girls Clubs and 1 local Boston public school. That went really well. And then Liberty Mutual was like, you want to do it for April? And we did. So we were able to give away 560 boxes for April vacation to families filled with stuff, as these children eat us out of house and home every vacation. But I was just happy to be able to not only do this in this community, but for kids in this community to see somebody that looks like them doing what I'm doing. And you can't just, I don't know, swoop in and make money here and then leave. You need to make sure that you do your part. So that's just something that's just very important for me as I run this business here in Dorchester. So a lot of our business activities, we don't only bake goods and do things like that. I do a lot of public speaking to the youth in this community and other communities. I will talk to any young people, reach out. That's like my thing. But also making sure that me as a business owner being able to have training opportunities to be able to help people not only gain some skills, but to also, you know, put together a good resume and really get that confidence to be able to, you know, maintain gainful employment is just super important to me. So, you know, we're kind of working on the whole thing here at Sweet Teez. And you know, we've done a bunch of print stuff, grocery box stuff. We do some resume and recruitment stuff. And yeah, we're here in this community just trying to like do our part. So any questions? Wait, I don't know how to stop sharing. Wait, hold on. I figured it out.
This is wonderful. Do we have any questions for Teresa? Comment.
Is there a location she has already? Is there a location she's thinking?
Well, we did look at the Subway location, but the landlord didn't want to rent to us because we're not Panera, but it's okay. We've been looking at any possible location in Codman Square. The lack of a space is kind of the thing that's really hindering us. Right now, we're just looking. My realtor is like, can I look outside of Dorchester? And the answer is no.
We love that the answer is no. I'm with you. Dorchester is the largest, most diverse, best part of Boston, if you ask me. You guys, here we have a bakery, local, that wants to open up on Washington Street. This is a dream come true. This is exactly what the teens are surveying for. This is exactly what we want and need. And so we need to do everything in our power to assist Miss Teresa to make sure she can open up in our community before we lose her. And she goes to all these other neighborhoods that would love to have her and welcome her with open arms. So to follow up on your point, we're actually going to be meeting with the landlord of Subways to see, how we can assist. Let us know how we can assist you, because we need to get this done. We want you to open up in our community. Rep. Holmes, if you can help with that as well, please let us know.
I'm on top of it.
I see
Can I
that.
ask a question, please?
Yeah, we have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we would like to know, you said that you do sell direct to consumers, even though you don't have a brick and mortar location, and also to various retailers. So we would like to know where we can try some of your goodies.
So we have a website and everything. You can order directly through our website. We do delivery.
Oh, and what is the website? And could you spell it, please?
I'm gonna put it in the chat right now.
We won't see it. We're on the phone.
Oh, sorry. It's Sweet, SWEET, and then TEEZ as in zebra, bakery.com.
P as in a sweet, P as in Papa, EEZ?
Yes.
Okay, great. Bakery.com. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm like the T in sweet teas.
Yeah, T, not P. I see people with their hands up patiently waiting. Do you want to go?
Sure. I actually, this is a part of my job. I am the interim executive director for Bowdoin Geneva Main Streets. And I'm also board president for Roxbury Main Streets. But more importantly, in my canvassing and door knocking for this campaign, I know we want to keep you in Codman Square, but we want to make sure you have options. So we'd be happy to help you to find a location in some area that's local to Codman Square if you're not able to get directly in there. There is one landlord at the corner of Woodrow and Blue Hill, right there, a block away from Chez Vous, and they're looking for a long-term person, and they want to help someone in the community that is worth investing in. And so if you need options, I'm going to say, since I live right there on Talbot, I would love for you to be at Subway. Because as you can see, I love sweets, but we don't want to lose you in our Dorchester economy. And if we can accommodate you less than a half a mile away, then let's make sure that happens.
That makes sense. I mean, there's no place to get a good cup of coffee. I mean, let's be honest, people.
We need you on Washington Street. So
I love coffee.
We will support you to keep you in Dorchester, but I really, really want you in Codman Square.
Yeah.
I see Melissa even mentioned the Ozia Gianna that's closing on Dorchester Ave, but I really want you in Codman Square. So point is, we want to help you no matter what.
Yeah,
No matter
we
what.
looked at that space, but that space is actually too small for our production.
Good to know.
Because
how much square feet do you need?
I need at least 2,000 square feet.
Okay.
3,000 would be ideal. I'll be living my best life. But because we do corporate gifting, We're going to start rolling out our shipping direct to consumer. So we need to be able to be running enough things through the back end that we're able to have a good space in the front end. Definitely, like we now are kind of launching COVID ready, not that we hope this thing like is behind us, but making sure that we put that buffer in that we can keep going even in a situation like COVID.
Now, Teresa, as you know, we've been able to keep that Popeyes on Washington Street from opening for like 3 years now. It's pretty amazing to see the community come together and do that. Is that enough space for you, that space?
That would be amazing. Popeyes has done a lot.
Okay, guys, we have to figure out how to get her at Popeyes. And if it's not possible on Washington Street, then maybe the Woodrow site, maybe some of the other sites. But this is amazing. We really want you in the community. I saw Jabari's hand up, but did it go down?
Yeah, my question was the same as someone had said it before. Just wondering where I could get my hands on some of the cookies.
We make really good cookies. So we have a website, sweetteesbakery.com. I put it in the chat, but you can, yeah, it's definitely, we make good cookies. But it's just, when I say that being in Common Square and being here in Dorchester is super important for me. I was not only born and raised here, but now as I raised my 3 children that I love so much, but sometimes you're even trying to find some place that you can bring them, get a little something and not have to hop in the car and get there. And I'm like, we don't have anywhere. And then mama needs her coffee, but you know, that doesn't always happen. But I used to work for Harvard doing data analytics. I would go to Harvard Square and be mad that like, why don't I have places like this here in my neighborhood? I take the train from Ashmont with all these people that are doing the same thing I'm doing. It's just like one of those things when someone's like, why Dorchester? And I'm like, why not? Yeah. It just doesn't make sense to me to go. So go to JP. I was like, well, I don't want to drive to JP to get anything unless I absolutely have to. So I feel like my neighbors might feel the same. So that's really a part of why I've been really pushing this and holding and like kind of waiting for something.
We appreciate that. I see Vikma has her hand up.
Hello. I'm excited to hear about this. It's the first time I hear of you. Would you consider selling at the farmers market to get the neighborhood to get to know you and rally? Whenever it is that we talk to the folks, excuse me, whenever it is that we talk to the folks at Popeyes, from Popeyes?
That is something we could definitely look into doing. I mean, because it's on Saturdays from like 11 to 2.
Yeah, even if it's something where people order from you and they can simply pick up if you're nervous about inventory, holding on to more inventory.
No, I just have to schedule a little bit because, you know, I am the Uber for the 3 people I made.
Okay, so I'll send you a message. Maybe we can work something where I can help out.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, awesome.
Yes, as my children get older, I'm like, why am I so overbooked every day? No, but that's something that I would definitely love to try to figure out to do.
Also, I know that
even if it's one market, we'd love to have you, Teresa.
We can work something out. That's like not terrible.
I think a lot of people will be reaching out to you after this meeting. Okay, this is wonderful. We have a lot of work to do, and we're gonna make sure that we support you in every way that we can before you choose a neighborhood outside of Codman Square. Are there any other questions or comments or thoughts for Ms. Teresa?
I just want to say there's a lot of help in the city. If you need any help with, once you find your location, if it's not Bowdoin Geneva Main Streets, there are a couple of others around that area and we help everybody. So I would hope that you wouldn't feel alone or feel stressed because there's a lot of different things you have to deal with when it comes to getting a brick and mortar. So just know that besides the 60 people that are on here, you've got a lot of people in the city that will help and want to keep you in Dorchester and Common Square. Okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Moving along in the agenda, we will now hear the Epiphany School update. Is it John Finley that'll be giving the update?
Yeah, but I would like to introduce the rest of the other people who are here. John Kennedy is the head of our Buildings and Grounds Committee. John, thank you for being here. Jamie Garrity, who's a new trustee at Epiphany. And then Michelle, if you, I think a lot of people know Michelle Sanchez, but Michelle is one of the founding teachers of Epiphany, and maybe you could introduce yourself a little bit, Michelle.
Sure. I'm Michelle Sanchez. I'm incredibly happy to be here. This has been really inspiring to hear the bold teens, kind of all the stuff going on in the community, and hopefully be able to go to some sweet teas in the neighborhood as well. So I have been the principal at Epiphany for, oh God, like 17 years now, but been there as a teacher for the past almost 23 years. And we've just continued to invest in the community. And I've been incredibly blessed to work with Cynthia on many different things in the community, as well as just, you know, she's had family at the school, and we've just been very blessed to be part of this community, and happy to be here this evening.
Great. So for those of you who don't know, so Epiphany is an independent tuition-free school for families in the community. We have several parts of our program. So we have an early learning center that actually begins working with moms after their first trimester, and then supports the kids through to kindergarten. We have a middle school, which has been around for a long time, and many of our former students are now our teachers, which is awesome. We also have an abiding graduate support program. So we stay with all of our students after they graduate, and we also train teachers. So we have a teacher training program, and we also have our impact center where we try to share our best practices. So there are now 31, we started in Dorchester 25 years ago, but now there are 31 Epiphany inspired schools around the country and overseas. And what we're offering is an alternative to create affordable transit oriented housing, but with less density than is currently proposed. So if I can move this down here a little bit. Let's see. Let's see what's wrong with that. Sorry about that, everybody.
John, just to let you know, you cut out just for about 3 or 4 seconds in your intro there.
Oh, thank you. See if I can get this to share. There we go. Can everyone see that all right now?
Yes.
Thank you. So for those of you who don't know, Trinity Financial is hoping to develop a rental project on Fitzpatrick Auto Body that will significantly exceed the in-place zoning parameters and will require a bunch of approvals. The project has, given its massing and scale, I think would really change the feeling of the community. And there's been pretty uniform opposition to their suggestion. So we've been aware of this for a long time. And so we've got our own proposal about how to recognize the need for affordable housing that's transit oriented, but not with the same density. So you can see that picture there that shows in the red box, that's our parking lot. And then you can see our school above that. So the idea would be we combine the auto body place, which is the left of that, with our parking lot. And that would enable us to do some development with less density. And there's sort of a representative drawing over here that shows the Epiphany School with Shaman Station below it, and then shows affordable housing there along Center Street. And then finally at the bottom here, these were done by one of the abutters created this image where it just sort of gives a sense of the scale of what's being proposed there, which I guess is around 9 times the current zoning. So we're prepared to make an offer for the property, and we welcome any questions and any involvement from the community. We've built 2 buildings in the community, and the neighborhood's been just terrific about helping us design buildings that are work in the community and are effective. So really happy with that. But are there any, I'd like to just take any questions you have right now.
Questions or comments with regard to the Epiphany School? So to be clear, John, you're saying that the Epiphany has secured the funds to purchase the site and could move forward with what you're proposing.
Yes, that's right. So we're not suggesting that that the Fitzpatrick should give it to us. We're prepared to make a very serious offer. Yeah.
Great. I see hands up. Let me see.
I think, John, can you go a little bit more? And I think the freeze was, what exactly are you guys proposing? Can you walk through that?
Yeah. So thank you for asking. What we're proposing is affordable housing along Center Street. We would partner. We're in discussion with the Codman Square Neighborhood Development Corporation in Dorchester Bay, but we're not real estate developers, so we would partner with someone there. But the idea would be to build affordable housing along Center Street with less density though than is proposed.
Okay, so I see, is this Sally's hands up?
Yes, I just wondering in terms of community support, how you, what would be, and maybe this question is premature, but what you would be hoping for community residents to weigh in supporting your proposal.
Oh, well, yeah, I think the first question sort of is how does the community feel about the current proposal, from Trinity? So I think, Sarah, that would probably be the first step. I think the important thing is for if this is not what people want, then that allows us to go forward and begin working with the community to develop the affordable housing idea there along Center Street.
Well, okay. There's been a lot of talk from different civic groups with regard to what's been proposed from Trinity. Is there anyone on that's participated in those meetings that'd like to share their perspective on how those meetings went and what the position was of their civic group?
I'm sorry, I can't find my raise my hand feature, so I'm terribly sorry. But my name's Arlene and I live in the neighborhood. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And I've been to, I think, 3, possibly 4 meetings with Trinity. And basically the entire neighborhood is against the proposal because the building is too big. It towers over all of the houses in the neighborhood. And many of us have significant concerns about, we're concerned now about the type of traffic that's clogging up the streets in the neighborhood. And any further development is really problematic. But, and we've suggested to Trinity, they should just build some triple deckers so everything fits into the neighborhood. It looks like it continues to be a historic neighborhood, which it is. So I'd be interested in knowing approximately how many units the Epiphany is thinking about. And if you're looking at one building, multiple buildings, is there any parking? Do you expect people not to have cars at all, so you have no parking? So those are the questions I have, but to answer your original question, the neighborhood is almost uniformly against the Trinity project.
John, you understand, that's why I'm asking, how big of a project are you thinking of building? Because you just heard it say that he doesn't want any building.
Yeah. So I mean, I think honestly, we haven't gone that far. We don't own the property, right, yet. So we can only go so far in our planning. So our concern was, we've heard a lot about the concern about affordable housing and have it being transit oriented, and we've heard that from the community. But honestly, our plan would be to work with the community over a long period of time to figure out what's needed there. But as you know, as our school abuts on is the largest abutter of that, we don't support this proposal that Trinity's making. It's not what we want next to our school. So we're looking to get in there, and you know, we're open to the idea of affordable housing if that's important to the community, but we're not coming here tonight with a specific proposal with a certain number of units or anything, you know, like that. What we are saying is that we're, you know, we have a track record in the community. We are committed to this neighborhood. This is where we are, and we have the capacity to make, you know, a serious offer for the property and a commitment to working with the community and a demonstrated track record, right, with the buildings we've already built.
Maybe I can add to that. This is John
Peter,
Kennedy.
yeah, John.
Maybe I can add a little bit to that. You know, what we want to do is work with yourselves in the city to come up with affordable housing. So the project that's currently provided, right, is market rate or profit-making units and some affordable housing. We would probably be somewhere in the range of matching that affordable housing, and we would make that affordable housing, you know, in concert with the rest of the community. And then that would allow us, right now, they're just taking Fitzpatrick and going from border to border, front and back. We would take that land with our land, push the project more to the front towards Center Street, leave some open space behind that may be used, land bank be used for something in the future, whatever it might be. But we would be able to match the affordable, so we'd satisfy the city, decrease this massive project of somewhere between 71 and 74 units on the land, which right now I think is zoned for like 8 units or something like that. So we're trying to get through that process. But in concept, what we want to do is only affordable, to minimize that effect on the community after correspondence with the community, give ourselves some free space in front of us for field, whatever it might be. So to work it out, so it'll be good for the neighborhood, good for us. And quite candidly, you know, we contribute a lot to the community, and we want to continue to contribute to the community. We want to be, it's most important to us is to be a good neighbor. So I think John has proven that over the years, and Epiphany has. We are, just to be very clear, we are totally committed to making this happen.
Okay, so just to recap, because I have a lot of hands up. So let me just recap quickly. So at this point, Trinity has site control and is moving forward with their process with the city. And as an immediate abutter, the Epiphany is one of the abutters that does not want to see the Trinity proposal moving forward as proposed. And so you all are trying to come up with an alternative that maybe can be considered. But otherwise, the wheels are in motion with Trinity. So we have to figure out what can be done here. Is that an accurate?
Cynthia, can I speak up here? I'm from Trinity Financial.
Yes, I'm gonna go right to you next. I just want to make sure that summary is getting close to what we're understanding here.
Well, this is awkward. I won't put it any other way. So my name is Chris Stanley. I'm from Trinity Financial. We've been presenting this project to both the St. Mark's Area Civic Association and the Melville Park Civic Association for about 2 years in various versions. We've tried to present it to this neighborhood council, but we've not been able to actually set a date, which is too bad, because I love the energy that's coming from this neighborhood, and it would be our pleasure to be able to come and present our project. You know, everyone has a story, and I think John Finley is telling a story that I'm sure he feels is the appropriate way to tell the story. But Trinity obviously has a different story. We feel like this is a great site. We've developed buildings like this in other parts of Dorchester. And we really just want the opportunity to present our project to this neighborhood council. It's a little strange that we have not been able to thus far. But you know, we're certainly committed to presenting the project. We have been through this process now for 2 years, meeting with the neighborhood. We've reduced the building, we've produced evidence about the building's traffic, we've produced shadow studies. We're doing everything we can to meet the community on their terms. At the end of the day, this is still going to be a building that's going to have housing. That's much as clear. Trinity is a 30-year developer of affordable housing all over Dorchester. I can't think of a better partner for this site. And strangely, we actually committed to trying to do the same kind of solution that I think the Epiphany School is talking about. over 3 years ago to the Epiphany. It's frustrating that we're at this point now where we have two.
I'm sorry, Chris, that's not
Excuse
true.
me, John, let me finish, and I'll let you.
But that's not
Okay,
true, though.
pause, because
Yeah.
I'm going to speak if
Yeah.
we're going to talk over
Yeah.
each other.
So John, let me finish.
Chris, I'll give you,
I would
Chris,
love to
I'll give
work
you,
with you guys.
Chris, you'll have 30 more seconds, then I have to move on. Please, go ahead.
Okay, so that's it. We want to present to your community group as soon as possible, obviously. I think this kind of presentation is problematic from our point of view. We control the site. We have controlled the site. We are doing our best to present our project transparently and honestly to everyone. And this is, like I said, this is an awkward situation, but we're happy to work with any and all parties towards a solution for this site.
Thank you for your comments, Chris. So just to recap and to be clear, I'm not aware of a request to present before the Codman Square Neighborhood Council. I am aware of joint meetings where there's been requests to have various civic groups, including ours, attend joint meetings. So if there was correspondence with a request to the Neighborhood Council, I must have missed it, because we ensure that anyone who has to present can present at the council. And to your point that this presentation is problematic, the Epiphany asks to do an update, and we allow people to present in any way. So that's how this played out. I have a lot of other hands raised. Let's move on. Did Judith want to speak? Judith?
Yeah, I just want to say, as a parent of kids who have not been able to find any housing in Dorchester, and knowing many, many people who've been displaced, the need for housing, I think, outweighs a lot of other considerations. I'm not for or against any of these things, but I think sometimes we get a little NIMBY in our thinking that something can't be too high or too dense and so on when people are unhoused. So I just want to make the point that we need housing, and we're going to have to overcome some of our disappointments about some ways that it's done, or we're not going to be able to house the people who have lived here all their lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Judith. We'll move on to Kate.
Thank you, Cynthia. And thank you, everybody, for inviting folks from Melville Park. This meeting has been just incredible, and I'm so appreciative to be here. My name is Kate Audette. I live in the neighborhood on Moultrie Street. I'm a licensed foster care provider. And just want to shout out the Early Learning Center and Epiphany for all that you're doing for foster kids in the neighborhood, especially mine. I appreciate you all. And to that end, I'm just curious if you could say a few words about the connection to mission in this project, and are there opportunities to kind of expand some of the incredible work that you're already doing with young people in the neighborhood, and just is there an opportunity to say a bit? And I know this is early stages, and it sounds like there would be an opportunity for collaboration about how this could work, but do you have an early vision that you could share about the connection to mission and young people in the neighborhood with your vision for the project?
Michelle, you want to grab that?
Sure. No, I'm happy to talk about this. I too have been many years of these meetings about the proposals that went from 100 to 74. We have even been considering the low-income housing is because we know about the need. It wasn't my initial yes, let's build housing, but we knew it was the housing because I want to produce more opportunities to serve the families and kids that Epiphany has been serving all these years. So as we think about new opportunities to be mission-driven, definitely housing is a piece of that. So that is in response to apartments are way too expensive for even teachers to even afford to live in. We've done a lot with a couple of the houses in the neighborhood. We want to continue to do that and create, we know that there's a need. We've heard it at the meetings, which is why we are in this space, which is why we've talked to Habitat for Humanity to create housing for teachers, for parents, for families. And we want to find some joint way to, we haven't had board meetings around what is our next step, but I have lots of ideas ruminating in my mind about things I would love to do to grow Epiphany. We are an early learning center. We are a middle school. We are a graduate support center. We work with foster families, and there are lots of things in between that we'd love to build. We're not quite there yet because, like John said, this is kind of a new, we've got a donor who's willing to help us build. I know Fitzpatrick has been in this for a while and has gotten, whatever deal with, Trinity with Fitzpatrick that has made it impossible for us to just buy it right now, but we're hoping and hoping that we can come to a great space where we are able to use this to make the neighborhood happy. We're not in this for money, which I think makes it a very different process for us. We're able to support the neighborhood, the community, and really work to build something that feels like a win for everybody. And that's what we're hoping to be able to do.
Thank you, Michelle. I got to keep moving on. Teresa?
Sorry. One of my big questions, Epiphany School, Trinity alike, when you talk about building units and building affordable housing, are we talking about studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms? Because me, as a person who lives here in Dorchester, I feel like every time you keep building 1 and 2 bedrooms, it's as if you don't want families to live here.
Thank you.
Because if you have more than 1 child, it's like, don't live in Dorchester, you can go live somewhere else, because we're not building anything for anybody, for families to be here. And I think families are a real intricate part of why Dorchester is the way it is.
Teresa, I can tell you we've done a number of housing things for families already. I'm not sure what we're not in a place where we're proposing things, but you're absolutely right. Like, you know, Michelle lives in faculty housing with her husband and her 2 amazing boys right there on campus, along with many other families. So yeah, we totally get that. And we think about our teachers who have children and families and they need to live in the community. We totally get that.
Thank you, John.
I'll only say that Trinity will present our project with 1s and 2s and 3s. That's what we've shown so far.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Okay, I have to move on to Doug and Jim.
This is Doug Shaheen from the St. Mark's Area Civic Association, and I'm just speaking for myself, but I just wanted to report that when Trinity did come to the St. Mark's Civic, I believe it was back in November, the proposal that they had, most of the attendees, or just about all of the attendees, were against the proposal as it was presented at that time. And the question I have personally is, I would like to see the school also expand its school facilities to help serve the kids in the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you for that comment, Doug. Okay. Ms. Tompkins?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I've been at a couple of the, 3 meetings with Trinity. And there wasn't a lot of support for the housing, not because people didn't want affordable housing, which I think was presented at the last meeting. You all don't want affordable housing. It wasn't that, it was about the scale of the project in that location and whether or not it fit with what the community, how the community is laid out. People also said there are possibly other sites. And I would encourage, and I'm sure you have already looked, I want to assume that you haven't, at other sites, maybe along Dorchester, where you can put that size facility. I was very excited about hearing about the Epiphany School because they have been able to build and manage buildings that really fit into the community and also offer services that meets the needs of the community. I was struck, and this is the last thing that I'll say, is that I was struck by the composition. I think Jim did lay out that it was going to be primarily 1 and 2 bedroom building facility. And I've worked with homeless families for years. Homeless families or families that are struggling generally do not have 1 child. They need more than 1 bedroom and probably more than 2. And so it just did not, just saying that it was affordable didn't really deal with my concerns about supplying more housing in the community.
Thank you for those comments. Kelly?
Hello. A couple weeks ago, I got an email about the site and the letter of intent from Trinity, from the BPDA. And I wrote to them saying I was surprised to see this letter of intent because of the opposition. I've been to 2 of the meetings that had been about the Trinity. So they wrote that they had no idea that there was opposition to this proposal. And so I am trying to organize a meeting with them on July 20th at 1:30, and I'll put my name in the chat so people can contact me if they want to participate in that meeting, and share with them some of the objections that have been given to the project. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. To be clear, this presentation was an Epiphany School update. I know we've been mentioning Trinity a lot, but we have not received a presentation from Trinity. Chris has gone on record today requesting to present to the council, so we will organize that for a future community meeting. I hope there wasn't too much confusion with the talk about Trinity, but Trinity was not presenting tonight. But I do appreciate the Epiphany School update, and John, you and Michelle and John sharing where the Epiphany stands in general with regard to the school and with regard to their interests in this site. Are there any other questions or comments or thoughts with regard to the Epiphany School update? No? I appreciate everyone that made comment and shared their experience. A number of meetings have been held with regard to this site, and so it's helpful to hear your perspective and hearing about what's been proposed on this site previously. With that said, I'm going to ask the Epiphany School to put their contact information in the chat if they haven't already, so that if others have questions or comments or concerns, they can follow up with you, and we'll continue this conversation. Sounds good?
Thank you.
Cynthia, could I ask a quick question before we close out about the next steps? So it sounds like the next steps for this group is potentially the Trinity presentation, but where is the project in terms of timeline and just any kind of general next steps that anyone can share?
That anyone can share.
I guess I could give you a brief update. Again, this isn't a Trinity presentation. This is why it's awkward when the Epiphany School sort of steps in the lane and says, here's what we're going to do, because we're not prepared. But we have filed an LOI with the city. The city is considering the LOI. We are working on an expanded project notification form, which is one of the standard pieces of the city's BPDA. It's called the Article 80 process, for those of you who aren't familiar with it. It is a long community process. It does not state that the building will be built. It states that the developer, in our case, Trinity, is interested in developing a parcel, and that we're moving ahead with the city to gain all the city level of scrutiny, right? That's everything they want to look at in terms of design, traffic, water, utilities, energy efficiency. So that's a long way of saying that we've started that process. And we'd be happy. The design hasn't changed since we showed it to the last group. What we'd like to do is come and bring that design to the Codman Square Neighborhood Council, and give us at least give us an equal opportunity that the Epiphany Schools enjoyed here tonight. To talk about our project. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Yes, anyone that asks to present before the council is able to present before the council. Okay, thank you all so much for your time and attention on this matter. I'm going to move on in the agenda. Is Jose on from the Department of Children and Families?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much for the invitation. At this point, I'm kind of very impressed with the quality of the discussion in this group. So thanks for inviting me. I'm not going to do a presentation today. The material I have demands me to be able to access the chat and actually to share. And I didn't do anything in Zoom yet, so I need to practice before. So what I'm going to do, I'll put my information in the chat and introduce myself. My name is Jose Guerra. I am the recruiter for DCF Park Street area office. I do the contacts and try to invite potential foster parents to work with the DCF and try to accommodate the needs of the children in our community. Park Street is in a dire need of foster parents. We probably are the state most, the office in the entire state with most needs. We have multiple kids that are not being able to, we have not been able to place in foster parents. So what I like to ask anybody here, it's if you have a chance, please grab my information. My email is very simple, is jose.guerra@mass.gov. It is in the chat. And if you know of anyone who has any questions, or if you feel someone could be interested to become foster parents with GCF, please give my information and let me know. I promise on the next meeting, I'll be better prepared to make a short presentation with more information. But at this point, I just like to thank Cynthia and everybody that I know that's participating in this group, for candidacy, and for the invitation. And I hope next time we will have a better conversation. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jose. Is there a question here? Harry?
Can I just say that I would love to connect with you, because Epiphany has a relationship where we try to get foster children. So maybe we can work together to serve the students, and you can get some homes nearby.
That would be wonderful. Michelle, I will be in contact with you. I'll send you an email as soon as I can. If you also have a chance to make a note of my email in the chat, I appreciate if you can contact me.
Perfect. I put my name, I sent you my information in the chat, but I'm happy to connect with you as well.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Mr. Hardaway?
Yes. So I wanted to ask, I don't know if there's a foster parent fair or anything like that. I've had friends that were in the foster care system and family that started off as foster care children and then became my cousin. So I'm familiar with it, and I want to make sure that we support, but I'm just wondering, has there ever been anything like that where people in the community can come and find out how to become a parent or a foster, someone that supports the foster care system?
Yeah, well, we do have several info sessions during the month. So we are able to make a presentation and help people to do the at least collect the information. The entire process to become a foster parents take about 6 steps. The first one is exactly contact GCF, ask questions, and have a kind of conversation to clarify any questions. People sometimes have doubts about how many people, how many kids they can have, what's the space they need, what's the condition of the house. We have Kate Audette here. That's one of our foster parents for the Hyde Park. So thanks, Kate, for what you're doing. So after this kind of initial conversation, anybody can go to the mass.gov, the website for the state, look for the application to become a foster parent and fill it up. Even that's not yet a signed contract, we can just take the applications, contact the person, and then clarify any questions. If the person ends up feeling, oh, the problem is not what I want.
Maybe we can work together, because I know there's a lot of interested parties out there. And sometimes people like free food when they get information. So maybe we can work to make a bigger, and make it a bigger thing where people can really come out and get more.
Yeah, I would be willing to set up a table on any meeting that you feel would be a good opportunity on market, on the farmers market.
Excellent.
Any kind of events that
I'll leave my information in the chat.
Perfect.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you.
I will provide cookies to help you
Teresa,
get people to come.
Look at all these connections being made. This is
not
wonderful.
a problem.
This is
That's wonderful. Thank you very much, all of you. I really, the very first thing I say when I do my presentations is thank you, thank the people who are interested to obtain more information, because it's really important to our kids, to our community, that people became foster parents. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you so much, Jose. We appreciate it. We won't be hearing from Denise DeSantos tonight from the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, because she's with the Cape Verdean delegation for CV Independence. So I'll now move on to State Representative Russell Holmes.
Thank you, Cynthia. I'm going to begin this month's conversation just around the budget and around what we're doing as we enter into this last month of the legislative session. So for those who don't know, we enter July with the coming of the close of the legislative session on July 31st. So you will see a wave of many things happening between now and July 31st because of the fact that after July 31st, we're essentially done for any one rep or any one senator at that point can stop any bills. And so I'm going to begin with taxes because I've heard an awful lot about it. And it is because, quite frankly, as we come to the end of June last month, we believe we had somewhere in the neighborhood of about $3.6 billion more than what we expected to have. We actually had somewhere in the neighborhood of about 6 billion, 5.9 billion or so more than we expected. But we did a supplemental, which took about 1.6 billion that we spent to follow up on some of the COVID relief stuff. We also spent about 250 million to the MBTA on some things that they're doing, as well as Mass Housing Authority. And so we anticipate still the questions around what do we do with the extra money or the money that we received that we didn't anticipate. And so I've gotten some phone calls because the governor has, of course, sent his proposal a couple of times to the House, and we've been rejecting that. And I just wanted to make sure, I know we've run out of time this month, but I just want to give just an idea again of why some of the things have been rejected in the House. And then of course I can cover more things next month. So we meet, the Black and Latino Caucus, we meet quarterly with the governor. We happen to have our meeting today. And we went through his tax package. And quite frankly, he has a little quick summary that he has that his team has, that's 2 pages. And we very much agree with the things on the first page of it, which were, hey, why don't we give some relief on those who need to have dependent care? Why don't we give some relief to seniors on what we call the circuit breaker? And then there are some deductions that we can do of raising, as many folks know, when you rent, there's a state deductions you can have up to $3,000, but raising that to $5,000. And then the last thing was to match the no tax exemptions that we have in the state to what we do federally. Just to give you a sense of what those numbers were, the no tax relief would give about 476,000 people a break in their taxes and pay less. And it costs the state about $89 million. The tax deduction that happens for rent will cost the state about $77 million. And then the circuit breaker will cost about $60 million. I say that because when we went through the supplemental debate last month, the things that the Republicans were pushing the most were the 2 things that were on the second page of this tax relief summary. And so, and I'll just say why I'm so much against this idea is that one of the things we can do, and of course, when we live in Boston, we're going to say, hey, that makes sense to us. One of the things that the governor wants to do is raise the tax exemption on the states in this Commonwealth from 1 million to 2 million. And so, of course, with housing prices going as high as they've gone in the state, that sounds like that's a good idea, right? So many of us have owned homes, and those homes have been inflated in prices and values. And of course, it means that we have this potential for all of us to get hit, even though we may not feel like millionaires, all of us to get hit with the millionaires exemption. Just think about it this way, and I know we're at 8:30. The exemption for those who have this $1 million tax break or to go from 1 million to 2 million would cost the state $231 million and would impact about 2,500 people. Each one of those people would get somewhere in the neighborhood of a tax break on average of about $92,400. This is the number he and I were yelling at each other about today. But then you go back to the exemptions that I was just talking about. In average in Boston, if the deduction for the no tax would give each person in that bracket about $153 a year. The deduction for those renting that rental increase from $3,000 to $5,000 in Boston, because we have the numbers literally by its city now. He gave us that today. They would save about $91 a year. And so we're going to continue this tax debate. You're going to hear about whether or not we're going to raise or eliminate the gas tax. I'm not in favor of that either, but so I can come again next month. Sorry we had such an in-depth meeting. Cynthia, obviously, I normally spend a lot more time, but I'm going to be respectful of the 8:30 time and just simply say, we'll be doing a lot in the next month. Next month's meeting in August, I should be able to give a much better report, particularly on all the legislation that's going to happen between now and the 31st. But in particular, I want to come back and cover the tax debate because you're going to hear a lot about it. And I want to make sure you understand there are some things we're not going to vote against. Even though I'm getting phone calls that do what the governor asked, we're going to not just give money just to the rich as a part of this tax break. All right. Sorry, we're at 8:31.
No problem, no problem.
We'll
And
cut
I
it
will
here.
make sure to give you extra time next month to be able to cover all of that. Is there a quick question or comment for Rep. Holmes before we move on to announcements? No? Rep. Holmes, thank you for being at every single one of our community meetings. And I know it's not just our community meeting, you're everywhere all the time. We really appreciate you keeping us in the loop as to what's happening at the State House. So thank you so much.
And thank you for having me. Sorry, run over this month. Thanks.
No problem. Moving into announcements. So if you have announcements, raise your hand and get queued up. As a reminder, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so that you can see this meeting and our previous meetings and share them with your friends, family, and neighbors. Codman Square Health Center has COVID testing and vaccinations available. They asked me to make sure that was announced tonight. The second annual Gospel in the Park will be taking place at the Dr. Loesch Family Park on September 10th from 4 to 7. I know I'm moving through this quickly, but again, it'll be on YouTube in the next day. The Codman Square Farmers Market, as you heard from Catherine Charles, will be July 16th through October 8th on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Codman Square Park. Make sure you're there. The Bold Teens mentioned that they're giving out summer meals to young people, 12 to 2:30 from Tuesday to Thursday at the Codman Square Library. Movie nights are at Dr. Loesch Family Park, 8 p.m. on Friday nights. Stay tuned for the flyer. They'll be sharing that soon. And are there any other announcements? Yes, okay. Where do we want to start? Let's start with, who wants to go first? Laura?
Sure, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to give a quick announcement. So my name is Laura Similian with Low-Key Dispensary, and we are a dispensary opening up on Codman Square. And I just wanted to share that we're hosting a job fair this Friday and Saturday. Friday from 4 to 7 and Saturday from 1 to 4 on 404 Neponset Ave, and I'll share the flyer. And we encourage people, locals, and we encourage people that have been negatively impacted by the war on drugs mostly. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, and put your information in the chat, please. Joanne?
Thank you, Cynthia. Common Square, this has been an amazing meeting. My name is Joanne Steens. I am the Youth Director for Redefining Our Community Neighborhood Organization, which is a sister civic to Common Square Neighborhood Council. I just want to provide an update about the Norfolk Street Bridge. The neighbors came together back in September of 2020 to put together what we would like to see for renovations for the Norfolk Street Bridge. So far, our state representation has gotten back to us and are making steps to improve our public safety in our area. So far on the Norfolk Street Bridge, railings have been re-added, although they are half brown, half silver, and I do post those pictures inside of the Facebook page of the Codman Square Council. Definitely, there is still more work to do as we're trying to make the stairs more ADA compliant, look over that metal barrier as we're crossing the bridge, as well as improving like those emergency push buttons around the bridge as well. I will keep Codman Square updated about that as I move forward every single month as well. The second update that I have is, Codman Square was also one of the neighborhood associations that we're part of becoming a stakeholder inside of our community-led life skills training and wellness center. That is, we basically came together as a community back in January 2021. We put together a petition, pushed that out to the neighbors to establish what would be a community-led life skills training and wellness center to basically build generational wealth and wellness across our communities. Codman Square Neighborhood Council, again, was one of those 14 neighbor and supporting associations who signed on to build generational wealth and wellness for years to come. So I will be back every single month to provide those updates for you. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for your support, and I look forward to providing more updates for you again next month. Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you so much, and thanks for all that you do with Rock. Teresa?
I'm muted. How are you all? I understand that you're on a time schedule. I'll keep this very short. My name is Faris Hardaway. I am a resident, 397 Talbot Ave, but I am also a candidate for 6 Suffolk. And I am here for the election on September 6th, excuse me. So I am the challenger to the incumbent, Russell Holmes. And so I'm here to say hi and to get to know you all and to let you know that I want to be the option on the ballot for you. We've had the same representation for over 10 years. And so it's time that we start looking at how we're going to develop a very underdeveloped neighborhood. I know there has been some incremental change and some things you've been looking for. Well, now it's time for it not to be about politics. It's about getting the job done. It doesn't matter what you look like, where you come from. I myself am the only LGBT candidate in this race. And I'm born and raised in Boston and went to Latin school and graduated from Suffolk. So it does not matter to me who you are, where you come from. What matters is that we need a vision for our district. And that's why we keep seeing incremental change instead of living and building and creating a place where people no longer leave, but what they come back to. People around, we have all experienced our family members, friends leaving Boston because there's no housing. The schools are hostile. We have just jobs and not careers for parents, summer jobs for kids, but we need to uplift the entire family. So what I want to offer to you today and on September 6th is that you will have a partner. You will have someone that is accountable, but will also create accountability within the residents. Because if I'm there and I'm trying to pass a bill, it requires the support of everyone here, whether it's an email, whether it's hosting events, whether it's calls and showing up to hearings. What matters today is that you know the past 10 years does not have to go for the next 10. We together can make not just change, but we can start creating the lives that we want and not the ones people choose for us. So we have been here and heard many politicians come. I'm not a politician. What I'm here to do is lead. I'm a born leader. I'm a small business owner with my family. I have worked with elders for 17 years, worked with kids for over 10. I'm here because I love who I am, and I want to help people love themselves because we don't have enough love in our community. So last thing I'm going to say is, please join me on July 8th, this Friday, at my kickoff event. You can come and hear more because I know that you guys want to get going and get to your food and your shows on TV. Right. But July 8th, 1531, the Post on Blue Hill Avenue, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I'm going to put that flyer in the chat. So it's so nice to meet all of you, and we'll speak again.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you.
Oh, good evening, everyone. I'm going to make it real quick. It's going to almost seem like I'm speaking Spanish to be mindful of the time. Hi, everyone. Codman. Oh, my gosh, so many great things. I'm looking for some cookies and some more things. But real quick, Council was able to get the success link extended to July 10th. There are over 3,200 youth jobs that have not been filled at this point. So we're trying to encourage and push our young people to apply for Success Link. Real quick, community events. There is a community cookout on Saturday, July 16th at 70 Talbot Ave, which is the Carver Lodge parking lot. It's a double Dutch hula hoop tournament. If you're looking to be a vendor, hey.
Yay.
And it's also therapeutic. There's also going to be plenty of resources. If you would like to become one of the vendors, I will put the email that you need to email, bring your cookies, your coffees, and all your great resources, your DCF opportunities for foster parenting. That's also, bring all these resources under one hub, on Saturday, July 16th. I will add that information right now, and I guess everyone can get back to
Lisa, you forgot your
DJ.
Oh, DJ Weisham's on?
I've been on here. Lisa forgot her DJ.
Right? Oh, I wasn't supposed to say it was me. I mean, okay. I also have a girls mentoring program, I Blossom Girls program, and DJ Weissham is going to honor us with her Wheels of Steel.
We love DJ Weissham.
And we're gonna jump and we're gonna hula hoop. We're gonna have some free, food for the kids, ice cream trucks, just a great community cookout, and just everyone just come. Everything's free.
Thanks.
And thank you, White Sham. I love you.
Put that information in the chat. Last but not least, Mr. Brewster.
Hey, what's going on, people? Antoine, I know I mentioned before, church plant, Crossroads Fellowship Church. We're actually having our first official event, July 22nd. We'll be partnering with Second Church. That'll be the place we'll be launching and doing events for the next several months. I've been involved in the community since last year, and I'm from Codman Squares. I'm not just a church planner or a pastor from outside of Codman Square. I'm from Codman Square. So because the introducing concert, it's going to be a Christian rap concert, July 22nd, 8 p.m. Doors open at 7:30, free admission. I put my email in the...
Antoine, we lost you.
Oh, sorry. Put my email in the chat if you guys are interested in more information on that. July 22nd, 8 p.m., Second Church, free event, first event for Crossroads.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you all for sticking with us. I know we went a little bit over time, but we had a lot of important information to cover. Share everything you learned with your friends, your family, your neighbors. I will see you next month, same time, same place. I'll also leave the chat open. There was a lot of activity in the chat. Make sure you review it. Thank you guys so much and have a good night.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you so much.